This is about day 7 for growing wheatgrass and, and sunflower seeds, both which were soaked for about 8 hours before they were laid on the burlap. And essentially what we've got is a shelf that's sitting on top of the water, level, above the water level. And it's covered with burlap, and then we've laid our microgreens and wheatgrass seeds directly on the burlap. It's covered with another layer of burlap during the germination phase. I've just removed the cover from this one to ensure adequate germination, which we've done. And the reason why we like this method is because, sorry about that. The reason we like this method is because we're doing all of this with an organic nutrient solution that we're brewing over here in that kind of messy looking bucket. And we're doing some aeration of the solution. You can see the bucket. It smells good. It's not anaerobic at all. We're leaching organic matter for nutrients, and that's how we do it. That's part of how we do it. We also run it through a biofilter, and we used to use media in these beds which served as a biofilter, so we put our leachings in the tank directly, and that would get biofiltered through the beds, and it would clarify the water and nitrify and decarboxylate and do all that other stuff. But we're not doing that with this. It's all deep water, or as we call it, air layer technique, or ALT. And so we're not. As a result of that, we don't have a filtration going on in the bed unless we filter off to the side, which is what we're doing with the nutrients prior to putting them in the tank. But I think the air layer technique also is going to afford us some more opportunity to have more organics in the water, as long as we're aerating it as well, to a certain extent. Depends on what the dissolved oxygen level does and how important that is during the growing season for these short-term growing plants. Because if we have an air layer created underneath when this water level drops, then there'll be some carbon breakdown on the roots. There'll be oxidation of the organics, and that's actually pretty good, I think, because then we're going to be able to get more of the benefits of the organics and some of the other nutrients that are bound to those organics. But this is pretty good evidence that the system is working well. The other advantages are that we eliminate all the handling of dirt, which is quite laborious, even on a system like this, which is a kind of a classic deep water approach where you float a raft and you put the media in those cups or in those little cells, and then you seed it. But that just leaves you a big problem with handling the dirt, processing it after you've harvested the grass, and if you're going to ship it with that. All of these issues are pretty much overcome when we can do it soilless, and we're doing it soilless organically. That's pretty unusual. But that said, we can take our organics and biofilter them down to a more inorganic form, although everything is, you could call it organic, because it's all derived from organics. We don't use any manures, we don't use any chemicals, we're creating our biomass we're creating all of our nutrients from biomass, and that could be anything from coffee grounds to barley grains to wheatgrass to weeds to kudzu, and you name it. Anything that's got a nutritional profile can be converted into a liquid fertilizer using our process. Process is a sort of a variation of what's used in waste treatment, which essentially calls for the biofiltration, oxygenation, and the conversion of the organics, including ammonia, converting ammonia into nitrate. So we do that off to the side in this case, as we're using our air layer technique, and we are raising fish in the bottom. This is part of why we need a little aeration. We need less for the plants when we've got the air layer going on, so that saves a lot of energy. But for the fish that we raise down here, just for the heck of it, we keep some aeration going. We don't feed the fish. These are all in this case they're goldfish, but tilapia, goldfish. Unless you're trying to raise high amounts and you've got some real demands for feed, you can raise fish with green biomass and algae that's produced from that, and the organics that are floating around, the liquids that are the liquid nutrients that are dissolved in the water. They basically filter that and consume it as a very nutritious and fulfilling meal. So and it's continuously available to them. So the stress levels is improved in this sort of approach. But we're not focusing on fish. We're focusing on wheatgrass. That's where the greatest nutrition is, and also an excellent product to convert into a wheatgrass juice or other products that are available at a retail price direct from the greenhouse. So that's it. I'm David. We're Bioponica. You can catch us on commercialaquaponics.com. Send us your comments. Love to hear from you. Thanks for watching.